Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of Movies and Melodies. Today I have an episode about one of my favorite things in the world. It's about clouds. I see clouds as a harbinger of hope. They bring much needed rain, which is what we all need to sustain life. So my first song for the day is from a movie called Tansen. This was a classic. It's a movie worth watching because in the history of movie making, it is an important milestone. It starred K.L. Saigal and Khurshid Ji, both phenomenal singers and also very good actors. So the song that I'm planning on sharing today, it's where she's talking to the clouds and asking them to bring her beloved. So now people have used clouds as a symbol of romance or, in the form of using the clouds as a messenger to their beloved. I mean, this has been all through Indian history, right? Right from the great Kalidasa's Meghadutam, all the way down to our current day modern songs even. So this particular song is using the clouds as a messenger. And the music for this movie was remarkable in that it was very authentic for the time that it was set in. So during Tansen's time, the khayal singing was not prevalent at all. In fact, he was the one who helped shape the future of khayal singing. It was all Dhrupad at the time. So Hemchand Prakash, who was the music director, has set the music entirely in the Dhrupad style. I think the only aberration to the music is he's used the piano in a couple of songs, apparently, but it's quite hard to actually, hear that. This is only because people have known what's happened behind the scenes that they've gotten this nitpicky about it. The person who wrote the lyrics was Pandit Indra. So in Khurshid Ji's voice from Tansen, Ghata Ghan Ghor Ghor.
मोरे सजने आजा आजा मोरे सजने आजा घटा घन घोर घोर मोर मचावे शोर मोरे सजने आजा आजा मोरे सजने आजा एक मौज का नाम जवानी तेरा जय तुझे एक मौज का नाम जवानी तेरा जय तुझे मौज में मौज नली जिसने वो फिर पाछे बचता है मौज में मौज नली जिसने वो फिर पाछे बचता है बड़ा दुख देवे जिया बड़ा दुख देवे जिया माने ना खाए पिया खाए बड़ा दुख देवे जिया माने ना खाए पिया माने ना खाए पिया इन्हें समझ आ जा इन्हें समझ आ जा.
This next song is a very interesting song. Well, the song in itself is not very interesting, but the movie is very interesting. It's a movie called Ratan. This came out in 1944, a huge hit. It's a very interesting movie. You should watch it for the story. It's a very quite a strong statement on how very young girls are being married off to these older men. So, another interesting anecdote about the movie, Naushad Saab, his career took off with this particular movie. So he was engaged to be married. His parents had told his in-laws, his wife and her parents, that their son was a tailor because being in the movies was a very, very shameful thing. So she didn't know she was marrying a very successful music director. And the funniest thing, the irony of this whole situation was that when he was in his barat heading towards his bride's house, all the songs that were being played in the Barat were from Ratan. So his own songs, he couldn't even acknowledge it at the time. The movie, for the most part, is very good. I watched this movie because of the music, ended up really liking the movie. The ending was the only thing I didn't like. It's sort of an overly melodramatic tragedy in the end. Karan Diwan and Swarnalata are in the lead, both very good. And the music, of course, like I said, was Naushad Saab, but the lyrics for the movie were by the great Mahakavi Dinanath Madhokji. There are actually 3 Badal songs in this movie. I've just picked the one that plays at the very beginning of the movie. It's picturized on Swarnalata and her bunch of friends who are all swinging on these swings. The prelude of the song actually plays during the title credits, and then the song starts in Zorabai Ambalewali's beautiful voice. From Ratan, Rum Jhum Barse Badarwa.
झुम बरसे बादरवा मस्त हवाएं आई पिया घर आजा आजा पिया घर आजा झुम बरसे बादरवा मस्त हवाएं आई पिया घर आजा आजा पिया घर आजा काले काले बादल घिर घिर आ गए ऐसे में तुम जाके जुलमवा ढा गए सावन कैसे बीते रे मैं कहाँ तुम कहाँ ओ मोरे राजा आजा ओ मोरे राजा झुम बरसे बादरवा मस्त हवाएं आई पिया घर आजा आजा पिया घर आजा.
Sujata. This was a Bimal Roy movie. As I've mentioned many times before when I've shared songs from Sujata, this is one of my favorite Bimal Roy movies. It's about the evils of caste discrimination and so on, but done in typical Bimal Das style. Not preachy and punishing, but done with kindness. Nutanji, Sunil Dutt in the main roles, but Tarun Bose and Sulochana, Lalita Pawar, all in very stellar supporting roles. Nutanji plays Sujata, the lower caste child who is adopted by this Brahmin family when her parents die of plague. So they adopt her and say that she is like a daughter, but she's not treated quite equally as the daughter of the house, played by Shashikala. This song is picturized on her where she's doing her household chores and so on, and she's very wistful. She's thinking of someone falling in love with her, and, she's looking for her happily ever after. The music was S.D. Burman with Majroo Saab. Beautiful buffet of songs for all of us music lovers. So in Asha ji's voice from Sujata, Kali Ghata Chai Mora Jiya Tarasai.
काली घटा छाए मोरा जिया तरसाए काली घटा छाए मोरा जिया तरसाए ऐसे में कहीं कोई मिल जाए रे काली घटा छाए मोरा जिया तरसाए ऐसे में कहीं कोई मिल जाए बोलो किसी का क्या जाए काली घटा छाए मोरा जिया मैं कितनी अकेली हुई जान थी मेरे बेरंग
Chitralekha. This was a Kedar Sharma movie. It was actually a remake of the same story that he had made himself in the 40s. This was in 64 that the second Chitralekha came out. It starred Meena Kumari, Ashok Kumar, Pradeep Kumar in the main roles. It's very sad. For a Kedar Sharma movie, it is very lackluster. And it's surprising because his previous Chitralekha was beautiful. I don't know, maybe his heart wasn't in it. I don't know. But the music, that was another story altogether. Roshan Saab with Sahir Saab. Incredible music, beautiful combination of poet and music composer. So this song is a very romantic duet. Asha ji and Rafi Saab have sung it from Chitralekha, Chha Gaye Badal Neel Gagan Par.
छा गए बादल नील गगन पर घुल गया कजरा सांझ ढले घुल गया कजरा सांझ ढले छा गए बादल नील गगन पर घुल गया कजरा सांझ ढले घुल गया कजरा सांझ ढले देख के मेरा मन बेचैन देख के मेरा मन बेचैन रहन से पहले हो गई रैन आज हृदय के स्वप्न फले घुल गया कजरा सांझ ढले घुल गया कजरा सांझ ढले
रूप की संगत आरे कांत रूप की संगत आरे कांत आज भटकता मन शांत कह दो समय से थम के चले घुल गया कजरा सांझ ढले घुल गया कजरा सांझ ढले छा गए बादल नील गगन पर घुल गया कजरा सांझ ढले घुल गया कजरा सांझ ढले.
Guide, a Navketan production, came out in 65. It was filmed in English and in Hindi with the same cast. Different directors though. Vijay Anand was a phenomenal director. He did a fabulous job with this movie. I think it's one of Navketan's best productions. And Wahida ji, this role was made for her. She was brilliant in it from the word go. Devanand is his usual charming self. And the music, that was yet another piece of perfection to kind of add to this amazing movie. Shailendra ji's lyrics, S.D. Burman's music. The story is that of a guide who meets this dancer who's a married woman. She leaves her husband, who's a philanderer, and Raju Guide lives with her. He helps her build her career as a dancer. Unfortunately, in the middle of all this, he commits forgery, ends up going to jail. When he's released from jail, he, instead of going back to his love, he decides that he will wander. As he's, wandering all over the countryside, he stumbles upon this little village. And there, due to some kind of a misunderstanding, this young man, a villager, thinks that Raju is a holy man, a sannyasi. So Raju is sort of, he thinks, I can con these villagers and, get some free food and so on. But there are further misunderstandings, and he is somehow tricked into fasting. That region will have been hit very badly by drought, and they're in famine. So people are very desperate. And now suddenly he has become this kind of beacon of hope, who, as a holy man fasting, will end up bringing rain to that area. This fast actually proves to be transformational for Raju. As he's undergoing this fast, he starts believing that this particular act of his will end up washing away all his sins. The song that I want to share now is played, it's like a background. It's set on the scene where there are aid vans distributing food to all the needy people in that area. Burman Dada has sung this song in his such a soulful voice. So from Guide, Allah megh de, pani de, chhaya de re, tu Rama megh de.
Megh de, pani de, chhaya de re, tu Rama megh de, Shama megh de, Allah megh de, pani de, chhaya de re, tu Rama megh de. आंखें फाड़े दुनिया देखे आज ये तमाशा आंखें फाड़े दुनिया देखे आज ये तमाशा हाय रे विश्वास मेरे हाय मेरी आशा अल्लाह मेघ दे पानी दे छाया दे रे तू रामा मेघ दे श्यामा मेघ दे अल्लाह मेघ दे पानी दे छाया दे रे तू रामा मेघ दे.
Dharti Kahe Pukar Ke. This movie came out in 1969. It had Nanda ji and Jitendra in the main roles. Sanjeev Kumar was there as well, and Libby Rana, who's also known as Nivedita, she was there, Kanhaiya Lal, a whole host of people. The story is that of a farmer who basically raises his younger half-siblings. One of the half-siblings predictably betrays him, goes off to the city. The farmer undergoes a bunch of hardships. All is well in the end, of course. I didn't particularly like the movie. The music, it had a couple of nice songs. Lakshmikant Pyarelal's music with Majroo Saab's lyrics. This song is actually very sweet. There are a couple of, like this solo and then a duet, I think, which I like in the movie. So this song is where Nandaji is singing to the clouds. As usual, the whole clouds be my messenger type song. And she's requesting the clouds to tell her beloved, because he's so naive, he doesn't realize how much she loves him. So in Lataji's beautiful voice from Dharti Kahe Pukar Ke, Jare Kare Badra Balam Ke Paas.
जारे कारे बदरा बलम के पास वो है ऐसे बुद्धू न समझे रे प्यार जारे कारे बदरा बलम के पास वो है ऐसे बुद्धू न समझे रे प्यार वही जाके रो जारे कारे बलम के पास वो है
Sharmili, starring Rakhi and Shashi Kapoor, released in the early 70s. The movie was that of twin girls, so Rakhi ji in a double role here, good twin, bad twin. Though this was very frustrating for me. The bad twin is essentially bad because she's been raped and then being blackmailed in all of this mess. But somehow, in those times, victim blaming, shaming, and then death is the only redemption for a woman whose honor has been besmirched and so on. Shashi Kapoor's role, you get very frustrated with him too, honestly. But Rakhi is very, very, very good. This song is sung by the good twin. So she now marries this man who is actually in love with her bad twin. And the bad twin will have disappeared, so she takes her place to save the family's honor, whatever. You know how these stories go. So now, of course, the husband realizes that she's not the twin that he loves, and he's all mad and he's rejected her. And so she's singing this very sad song. Music for this movie, S.D. Burman with Neeraj Saab. Each song is unique and crafted beautifully. So this song is no exception. It is set in Rag Patdeep. It's a very sad song. Lata ji has sung it very beautifully. From Sharmili, Megha Chhaye Aadhi Raat.
मेघा छाए आधी रात बैरन बन गई निंदिया मेघा छाए आधी रात बैरन बन गई निंदिया बता दे मैं क्या करूं मेघा छाए आधी रात बैरन बन गई निंदिया सबके आंगन दिया जल रे मोरे आंगन दिया हवा लागे शूल जैसी ताना मारे चुनरिया सबके आंगन दिया जल रे मोरे आंगन दिया हवा लागे शूल जैसी ताना मारे चुनरिया आई है आंसू की बारात बैरन बन गई निंदिया बता दे मैं क्या करूं मेघा छाए आधी रात बैरन बन गई निंदिया
Namkeen. This movie came out in 1982. It was a Gulzar Saab movie. Oh, such a good movie. I recommend it so highly. Please watch it. It is a brilliantly made movie. The story is that of a woman, Wahida ji plays this lady, and her 3 daughters who all live in the mountains in grueling poverty. So the story essentially is about women and how strong and resilient they are for the most part, despite undergoing terrible hardships and suffering. So this woman, the mother, she is actually a Nautanki dancer, but she will have had a fall and hurt herself, so she can't dance and so on anymore. So she and her 3 daughters are now living in this house in the mountains. She mixes spices and makes spice powders, and that's how she's earning a living. The 3 daughters, played by Sharmila ji, Shabana ji, and Kiran Vairale, they are named after spices. The oldest, Sharmila ji, is Nimki or salty. The middle one, Shabana, is a romantic introvert who is mute, and she is Mithu, the sweet one. And the youngest, who is the feistiest of them all, played by Kiran Vairale, is Chinky. or the tangy one. So the whole family is held together essentially by the oldest daughter. Sharmila ji has done a really wonderful job, very underplayed kind of a role. You can feel her terrible sorrow and, tragedy. Gerulal, a truck driver, he comes there, and this is played phenomenally well by Sanjeev Kumar, who was always a Gulzar favorite. And he stays in their house as a, paying guest. He falls in love with the oldest daughter and asks her to go away with him and get married to him. She, on the other hand, rejects him and she says, I cannot leave here. I'm the one holding this whole thing apart. My mother is slowly going senile and I need to be here to take care of my sisters. Please marry my middle sister. She is in love with you and I want you to marry her. And in an unusual twist for Hindi movies, because normally when the heroine sacrifices her love sacrifices himself for whatever she's saying and will marry the sister. But this is a Gulzar Saab movie. He says, no, sorry. And he leaves. He returns a few years later and he is shocked by the changes that he faces here. The old lady has died. And this is because Mithu, who wanders in the mountains, writing poetry, singing songs in her head, she meets with a tragic accident and she dies. The mother can't handle the sorrow of this and she dies too. The youngest daughter is so sick of this whole poverty-ridden situation that she runs away to her father and joins the Nautanki troupe. So Nimki is left alone, and when Gerulal meets her, he is shocked at how all these trials in her life suddenly have aged her tremendously. So the movie ends with him taking her with him. The first half of the movie is very light-hearted and quite fun. The second half of the movie, however, Gulzar Saab takes your heart and rips it apart. The direction is very deft, very great editing, and the music, oh my God, R.D. Burman with, of course, Gulzar Saab's lyrics. This song is actually picturized on Mithu, Shabana ji. She's walking in the mountains and she's singing this song in her head. So Asha ji is given playback for the song. It's a very beautiful, very haunting tune, and you can sense the sadness, the longing inside this young girl. So from Namkeen, Phir se aayo badra bidesi.
फिर से आइयो बदरा विदेसी तेरे पंखों पे मोती जड़ूंगी भर के जाइयो हमारी तलैया मैं तलैया सी तेरे पंखों पे मोती जड़ूंगी तुझे मेरे काले कमले वाले के सो.
That's it for today, folks. I had so many songs pop into my head once I decided to do a cloud song episode. I think I had almost 30 songs that just, kind of came into my head one after the other. So you all know what this means. I'll have to come back with a part 2, 3, God knows how many. I will be back in 2 weeks. But until then, remember, music is food for the soul. Keep listening.